All right, guys. Welcome to the Always Race Day podcast. I'm Connor Ferguson. I'll introduce Kendra in a bit here. We're going to be talking about the high limit TV race coming up on Fox Sports 1, the Joker's Jackpot over at Eldora. And that news, obviously, you guys heard it loud and clear on Tuesday. I think it's a pretty landmark, big breaking announcement. As far as sprint car racing goes and in the entire sport of dirt racing as a whole. But kind of something different we're doing with the podcast now. We're doing the interviews separate, especially so it's not a secret or anything, but things get dated as the week goes on. And we kind of just looked at things and we're like, that's going to be an easier way to do it. All the videos are going to be separate. And if you hate it, let me know. I don't anticipate people hating it, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Kendra, huge news for sprint car racing. How are you? Kendra Jacobs, the chief, is it marketing and events officer? I'm getting the order right.
Yes.
Of High Limit Racing, joining us today.
Yeah, big news, right? Like we've been sitting on this one for a while, and A, it's great to have big news in the sport. B, it's really great when you have big news and no one knows about it. So all of you guys seem to find things out. And things get leaked, and this one did not. So I'm pretty proud of it. Everyone with Kubota High Limit Racing and Flow Racing and Eldora Speedway. I mean, this has been something we've been working on and talking about and finalizing, it feels like, for many, many weeks, over a month. So glad to finally have it out there. And really start fine-tuning, or I shouldn't even say start. I mean, we've already been fine-tuning the schedule for that night and the run of show. And, you know, anyone who works with Mike Hess knows it's down to the minute. So we have a literal minute by minute schedule for that event. So everyone's really excited. And now that it's out there, we can really start focusing on the event itself.
For sure. And 100,000 to win, one of the major sprint car races of the season. And I'm thrilled that it's with you guys. And I don't think there will be as much. I guess you tell me, will there be a shunning of the World of Outlaws? And I don't want to make it about this, but having the World of Outlaws, pair of days, will that be clear to the casual fan watching on TV that those two come after the first 2 days being high limit?
I mean, we never shy away from mentioning the World of Outlaws. So, I mean, right. I think at some point during the broadcast, we'll talk about, there's still 2 more nights of action at Eldora Speedway. You can get tickets. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we mentioned where you can watch it at.
For sure.
Chase and Tony are great about that. And I don't see us, we won't be doing any shunning. That's just not who we are.
Absolutely.
I think you'll see most, if not all, of the World of Outlaw drivers participate in this event. I think they all did last year. So from looking at last season, it would make sense that they all did for this one. I think they like having the track time before the two World of Outlaw nights that are coming. And I mean, everybody in the sport knows how important exposure is for your team and your partners. So having that mainstream exposure on FS1, I think, would just be another reason why you'll see any team who might have been on the fence about participating, I think definitely will.
Yeah, and obviously it's huge. I've ranted for years about how a tape delay, so-called TV race, doesn't do anything to help your product, because if it's passed, especially to me, if you're a fan that's lightly following the series and maybe isn't subscribed to either Flow or Dirt Vision, you're not going to go out of your way to watch a race that happened 2 weeks ago. And now you get, I think, the first live race since the Outlaws had some in 2020, I believe. It might have been 21.
I think it was 2020. I think it was COVID year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The last live race. Yeah, I mean, we are, no pun intended, but you're a very fast moving sport. And with social media and with live streaming and replays are posted instantly, and everyone knows the outcome of an event pretty much within an hour. And I even say hours pushing it. by the time the event's over. So yeah, tape delayed is tough. There's no suspense, right? There's no wondering what happens. So those ones are really tough to gain traction. I think that there's been some pushback in the past with dirt racing on live TV because dirt is so unpredictable. So the track surface is a wild card at a lot of venues. I think Eldora, we feel really, really good about that and their track prep. Another, hiccup in dirt racing is we have multiple events in the TV window. So it's very different from a NASCAR event where they go green one time, and that is the TV window. So we'll have 5 events live during that 2-hour window. So, you really do have to hope that everything clicks off in the time frame that you have allotted. And we didn't just randomly pick time frames. This is from experience of past races and looking back at how long does a C main typically take at Eldora, and having those time frames set. Obviously cautions could come into play, red flags could come into play. And those are just things we have to be prepared for. Whether that's having content already planned to fill some downtime, or being able to work with Fox and see, what is the likelihood of having any type of cushion at the end of the 2-hour window, which I'm hearing that a little bit of a cushion will be there if needed. We are doing everything to make sure that's not needed. We would prefer to have extra time at the end of the event and be able to interview more drivers and give more drivers exposure than run over. So these are all things we're working on. Me, Connor, like I get online, I read the feedback. I think that's how you get better. So I've seen some of the feedback, I think mostly or really overwhelmingly positive. There are some people concerned about the TV time and track prep, and all I can do is assure people that we too, like we have a plan. We're going into this eyes wide open, and being as prepared as anyone could possibly be.
For sure. And I'm not surprised to hear it. I knew you guys picked a 2-hour window. I think it's 7 Eastern. If I got that right on Fox Sports 1 on that Thursday.
7 to 9.
7 to 9 on a Thursday, July 17th. It'll be on Fox Sports 1 for all y'all listening to be able to watch for free. One other thing too with that you brought up is when I was getting into covering the sport, TV races had a stigma. And, through my time working in other sports, I kind of get in and I figure out what people are saying. And I kind of I trust it, kind of a good gut feeling about what the, majority of fans are going to think. I thought for sure we were going to have more, negative comments to having a live TV race because of what I had heard in the past when I came into the sport. And I don't think I saw one, honestly.
Well, I think it's really different than it was 10 years ago, right? Like technically every race is on TV now. So it's not like we go from a completely commercial-free, no TV programming, no production, to suddenly having it. Connor, I've got to stop for just 1 second.
Yeah, no, you're completely all right. And I'll fill in this. I think her stream was cutting out a little bit. But yeah, it's a monumental deal. Thank you guys for the comments. It did work back in the day. Dang. Someday I'll introduce myself to you, and unless you want me to keep calling you Dang, but whatever your first name is. I've always been a huge proponent for putting it on TV live and having it in front of all the fans to see, especially for free. Not really for free. People from here and there are still paying for it, right? But the people that are already paying for that are going to get access to watch it. And I think that's a really big part of, growing dirt racing and getting more. Oh, hey, Ralph. Gosh, that's the last person I would have guessed. Thanks for listening, man. Appreciate you. Now I'm more nervous than I was. Thank you for being here. And I got some questions for you about dirt bikes sometimes, but next time I see you, I'll definitely be sure to ask. It's all behind the scenes BS. And I wanted to hear what happened with You may not know who I'm talking about. We'll leave it up to a mystery, at least while I'm on here. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm hoping Kendra is back in a second here. One more time, 7:00 p.m. That's Eastern time on Thursday, July 17th on Fox Sports 1. And that's going to be the Joker's Jackpot. So High Limit will run their 2 days, and then the Outlaws will run the Kings Royal on Friday and Saturday. Oh, yeah. No, Ralph, I know who. Oh, I see. Dang.
Sorry.
No, you're all good.
I had a runaway puppy, so I had to hurry up before she got to the road. Sorry.
That makes a lot of sense. But I guess we were talking about the 2-hour window, not going over, and then the stigma of TV races has changed. Is there any other challenges besides the dirt, obviously, besides the window that you guys are looking at or possibly foresee? And obviously, I don't want to say it out loud and not knock on wood, but like cautions and red flags.
I mean, I think the biggest one's rain, right? So that's probably the biggest factor that we can look at, we can study, but there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. And in a race season that's been plagued by rain, you can't say you're not thinking about it. So that's definitely something we've discussed. Other than that, like every single, this really isn't different for us as far as being on TV. We're on TV every single race, and it's Flow Racing that's producing this event, not Fox. So it's our same producer, it's our same audio technician, it's our same announcers. From our perspective, it's the exact same thing we do every single night. We just have to do it in a tighter window, which, I mean, High Limit, we run a tight window anyway. So getting done at 9 is about 30 minutes before we normally get done. So really it's just getting done in that tighter window, which we just, Mike Hess created a format that's going to work, and it's going to fit everything into that time frame. So I think everything that we're worried about is like a precautionary worry, which being in PR, that's my background, is to worry about things and have a plan before it happens. So that's pretty much everything. We're all very positive about it. It's a great opportunity for our sport. This is what High Limit and Flow said we were going to do. We are going to do everything we can to grow this sport and put a spotlight on the drivers and the teams and the sponsors. And that's what we're doing. I mean, this is just another thing we're checking off the list of, like, yes, we're doing another thing to grow the sport. And I'm really proud of Brad and Kyle and everyone at Flow for making this happen.
Yeah, and absolutely. And as you said, with rain, if something does happen and you guys fall out of that 2-hour window, is there like a 15-minute buffer period, later on that they'll stay with the live event? Is there a contingency of Fox Sports 2 or anything like that set up?
I think it's going to be we decide at that moment.
Okay, gotcha.
So, luckily there's not really any other major sporting event going on that night that's going to like bump us. So I think we look at it at that moment and see what the plan is. If it's we run later that night, are we getting completely rescheduled to another day? And then that will be decided then and announced as soon as we can. But let's just hope that we're all just hoping that it's not an issue and not something we have to think of that night. For sure.
And then last two things. I wanted to hear if you got a raw reaction from Tony Stewart and what he thinks and that race happening on TV at Eldora.
I haven't talked to Tony at all. I've been working with Levi Jones on everything. Anybody who's ever worked with Levi knows that he's like the consummate professional, and he is just extremely level-headed and knows the sport inside and out, and just like us wants to keep growing it and do bigger things. And so Levi and Jonathan Bateman, who I've been working on everything. And no, I really haven't talked to Tony, except just knowing from Levi that Tony will, I think they're racing in Washington that same weekend. So he won't even unfortunately be there, which I think he's kind of bummed about.
Yeah, that's obviously unfortunate for Tony, and stinks for, to have the place that he helped raise too, and all that. But I'm sure he'll at least be tuned into it. And then bringing in Blake Anderson, buddy of mine. I just wanted to touch on that, and Chase and Tony do a great job. Chase Rodman and Tony Laporta. I don't just want to say their first names, but they do a fantastic job week after week. And when I read Blake's name, I was like, that's the perfect third guy to put on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, Blake just brings a great energy to it. I mean, he knows the sport. It's not bringing in an outsider who's a great announcer and having them learn sprint car racing. It's finding someone who is a great announcer and knows sprint car racing already. So that it's just a great fit. He and Chase have worked together before. They work really well off of each other. Blake has a passion for Eldora that's going to show through the broadcast. So he's a great addition. Having a second person in the booth always takes an event and makes it a little bigger. So, I mean, that's something we would have wanted for the event, even if it wasn't on FS1. So having Blake there and a part of this, like he was on absolutely the best choice.
For sure. Was there anything that I didn't ask you about that you wanted to add?
No, I just think that I just appreciate the fans seeing this vision and being supportive of it. And, I really encourage people who, if you're not going to be at Eldora, which let's be honest, there's going to be about 25,000 people at Eldora. So not worried about people suddenly staying home. That's when you have an event like Eldora, they sell out. Like it's going to be massive. And I just want everybody there to bring the energy and the excitement, because it's going to show on TV. If you're energetic and you're like having a great time, that shows on TV too. And a lot of this is just to have people that are flipping through the channels, or they hear that it's on FS1 and maybe they might watch sprint car racing for the first time. I want them to see what this sport's all about. And then next year they decide to come to Eldora Speedway, because once you see it, you want to be there. And for everybody who's at home, invite your friends, your coworkers, your family, have a watch party. We used to do that for Chili Bowl when we couldn't go, and it's so much fun. So hopefully everybody, whether you're home, whether you're at the track, everybody gets to enjoy this event. And hopefully this is just leading to more of them.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I hope that's on the horizon. I'm guessing you couldn't share anything, even if that is part of the deal. But
no.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Kendra's got a heart out in 3 minutes, so wanted to get her off in time. But this has been the Always Race Day podcast. Thanks for listening.